Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes podcast with my guy Jacoby. It is officially Jets week. The Miami Dolphins are 7-3. They're rolling right now. Obviously, the game could have been better this past Sunday, but the point is the Dolphins are 7-3, still in first place in the AFC East and taking on the New York Jets, the rival New York Jets. But with my guy Jacoby, Dolphins coming off a win, man. How are you feeling on this Tuesday? Happy Hard Knocks Day, too, by the way.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was a frustrating win. Probably the most frustrating win since that Bears game last year. Because I remember I was just so pissed after that win. And then I was pretty pissed after this win, too. It was unnecessarily close. The defense was just balling the fuck out, and the offense could not come up clutch for them. So, luckily, defense had the game sealing pick. A win's a win. I'm going to take it. But they need to get that offensive train back on track, and no better week to do it than this week against the Jets, man. Black Friday. Let's go.
Yeah, first ever Black Friday game, man. I'm freaking excited. As I told you, I'll be in attendance for this one, man. I'm stoked, man. I'm fired up. I wish you were coming, man, but I understand that, the holidays, they wanted to make this game Black Friday, which is still pisses me off that we're doing it on Black Friday, by the way, man. But
I mean, if it wasn't Black Friday, I was gonna be there. Like I had this game circled as one of the games I was gonna go to, and when I found out it was Thanksgiving week, I was like, well, I'm screwed. Like I even checked last week. Cheapest flight was like $800. I was like, bro, like I was so pissed because then that only means I went to one game this year, and that's kind of sad.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, hopefully the next one you come down to, bro. You got to experience it, bro. But you mentioned about the offense and about it being an ugly win this past Sunday, man. I agree with you. We did see some good glimpses. We did see some good things, particularly on the defense. I mean, the defense is freaking balling, like you mentioned. I mean, Bradley Chubb looks fucking awesome. Thank God. Christian Wilkins made a big play. I texted you. I'm like, yo, I think Bradley Chubb and Wilkins are listening to our podcast because me and you have been, flaming them, and they have been producing big time plays, man. What do you make about the defense, in particular, Bradley? We're gonna get to Jalen Phillips and Jalen Ramsey, but Bradley Chubb and Christian Wilkins and the defense besides those two players.
Hey, they're showing up at the right time, dude. Bradley Chubb has not skipped a beat in the last, I think, 5 to 6 weeks. He's been easily the best defensive player besides Jalen Ramsey returning. Bradley Chubb has been living up to that contract like we were saying in the early season, dude. We're so happy he's finally finding that groove. I think he's having the best season of his career so far. I think, if I'm not mistaken, if you look at the stat line. So I'm pumped. I can't wait to see what he continues to do. And he has a huge golden opportunity this week to rack up even more sacks against that bottom tier of the offensive line over in New York. So he's been awesome, man. Phillips finding groove. He's been riddled with injuries all year, and I think he's starting to come awake right now. So I'm excited. Those are my guys right there, especially Phillips. So I'm really excited about it. And I think this is I think they can feast this week for sure.
Yeah, that's what we've been waiting to see. Like, when is there going to be a good Bradley Chubb game, and can he start stacking after that? And that is exactly what he's been able to do. And now you have a great matchup ahead, which we're definitely going to touch on. I mean, that offensive line. We talk about our offensive line, but that Jets offensive line is terrible. So, I mean, what better opportunity to just keep on stacking good performances than to play the New York Jets. First of all, salute to everybody in the chat, everybody viewing the show. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us. We appreciate you guys tuning in and chiming in on the chat board. What's going on, Troy? What's going on, everybody? What is up? Hard Knocks today, 9 p.m. Eastern time. What better way than to just watch this show and take you right into Hard Knocks, to be honest. Yep. I mean, like, come on now. But we got to talk about the offense, Jacoby. The offense, Devon A-Chain, unfortunately, we've been so excited to have him back. Me and you were saying we're a little bit scared about an early return. We didn't want anything to happen. Boom, shit happens, just like always. That's typical Dolphin fashion. And then Tua also had a game where I don't know how I feel about it. You look at the stat line, 325 yards. It looks cool, but I don't know, man. I saw something else differently. What did you like? What did you see from this offense?
I mean, we're just lucky the Raiders are freaking crap, dude, because we gave them every opportunity to win that game, and they just could not capitalize on it. But, I mean, the things I saw from Tua, man, it was just horrible decision-making. The interception was pretty bad. He dives head first into a first down game that leads to a fumble. You know,
Mm.
I don't get it. He does that all the time. Just
Yeah.
slide. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. And then on a I think it was a third and one opportunity. Mike McDaniel again
Mhm.
continues to try to go for the big play. Don't even get me started on Mike McDaniel because he did. I'm going to get into it after Tua, but Tua missed a wide open River Craycraft, which we haven't really seen Tua miss these guys this season on those big opportunity plays. But I'm hoping it's just rust. I'm hoping that's all it was. Coming out of the bye week, they didn't come out perfect out of the bye week last year, so I mean, I hope that's all it is. The offense really hasn't had a huge game. I guess you could say they did against New England, but they could have been better then. But it's been a few weeks since we saw like that high powered intensity offense we were seeing all early season long. So, hopefully they can get that going against New York. I'm not too optimistic about it. They got a great defense over there, but we'll see about it. But I think with Tua's stat line could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I agree, man. With the 325 yards, like I mentioned, I mean, it looks good, but I'm with you, man. A couple opportunities. I feel like this was the game that Tua got the most beat up. Granted, he only got sacked one time when you look at the stat, but again, stats and sacks are very, overrated, a little bit misleading. Like Tua was getting, like they were getting home, like they were getting a lot of pressure. You talked about him, like why not just slide, man? We talk about the fumble, the interception. I think this was the game that Tua had like pretty much this season. I think this was like the most pressure he'd faced, which is kind of crazy to say. You think about Buffalo, you think about Philly, but this game, I mean, the Raiders were on his ass, and I'm hoping it's just rust, man. Coming off the bye week, I did mention that on the stream that I thought this was going to be close because I thought they were going to be a little bit rusty and kind of take it lightly. I hope that's all it is because, like you mentioned, man, the New York Jets defense is no joke, bro. And this is a defense where we have to bring our absolute A game. Like things are not going to slide. That game can get. We saw last year playing that defense what it was able to do. Granted, we didn't have Tua, but I think things really need to change. And in particular, you talked about Mike McDaniel going for it on fourth down and then having a wide receiver screen that pretty much similar to the one that we did against Kansas City. We saw what ended up happening there. What do you make of Mike McDaniel and a lot of his decision making as of late?
I've just been beyond frustrated, dude, and I've been, voicing these opinions to a lot of people, and I'm just like, the screenplay does not work. It does not work.
Tell him.
It has not succeeded at all this year. Teams blow it up like every fucking time they run it. And this
Mhm.
time it led to Tyreek Hill getting hurt. So I think he is just this close to one of his stupid decisions just absolutely backfiring on him. He refuses to run the ball on third and one opportunities, which
Mhm.
I don't understand. Like Raheem Mostert has been one of the most physical running backs this year you've seen. He's been trucking guys all year long, going for more yards after contact. Jeff Wilson can be that guy for you, but for some reason they decide to make him inactive,
Yeah, it's
which
weird.
makes no sense to me because this running back core is the most fragile running back core I've ever seen. Like we were one injury away from having one running back for the rest of the game. So, it's just like I said, dude, it's just a matter of time until these decisions completely backfire on him, and I don't want it to happen in the playoffs. So, I mean, I'm just tired of him getting all this like unnecessary praise. I think Mike McDaniel still has a lot of growing to do, and he gets bailed out tremendously a lot. But I mean, that play on Tyreek could have been terrible. He could have broken his hand and been out till the playoffs. Like that could have been the worst case scenario, and
Mhm.
it's because you decide to run a stupid play that never works. So that's my frustrations about it. I'm it's just so agonizing.
No, I think we gotta hold him accountable, to be honest, man. And me and you have both, gave McDaniel his praise when he deserves it. And he's done a lot of great things. I mean, he's literally unlocked our most important player, which is Tua, which you get all the praise for that. You've unlocked him, you got him doing some special things last season and this season. But when things are wrong, we're gonna call it out. And I do think that Mike McDaniel has a little bit of a play calling issue at times. I mean, that screenplay, it's like, what are you doing? You have Raheem Mostert, like you mentioned, he's been balling the hell. And even on the replay, it looked like if you handed it off to him, he would have got the easy yard right then and there. And I just don't understand it, why he continues to just do these stupid. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know what it is, man. But he definitely needs to fix it, because and now this offense is starting to take a little bit of a step back. Granted, I don't want to overreact, but when it comes to the last two games in particular, we talk about the Chiefs in that first half not scoring. Then you talk about only putting up 20 against the Raiders. Like those two, you're in that game against Kansas City because of the defense, and you won this game this past Sunday because of the defense as well. And it's crazy to say that after the whole first half, we're talking about offense, 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 offense. Now, lately, it's been the defense. And I hope that this week is when Mike McDaniel does start serving it up like he was early on in the season. Talk to me about Jalen Ramsey, though, my man. I mean, please give this guy a shout out. How you feeling about Jalen Ramsey?
Dude, just he's been as advertised, man. It's been freaking amazing to see. He's allowed a 0% rating on all his passes that have been targeted to him. And man, I think I saw a stat. I meant to save it, but I think he's allowed only three or five catches for 13 yards and 2 interceptions. So he's been playing out of his mind, man. And like I've been hearing it all. I've been hearing it since he's got hurt. And I want to bring it up. Like I always hear from people, they're like, a full meniscus repair is like adding years to your meniscus. Like I kept hearing that. And you know what? He looks as fresh as ever. So maybe that shit is true. I don't know. I never torn my meniscus. But I'm just like, that's, man, he's playing out of his mind. And I see a comment right here. It says he got burnt by Adams when he covered him. But I mean, the one where he, deflected he didn't deflect the pass. He covered him going downfield. I mean, people say he got burnt, but he was less than a foot off of him. I think it was great recovery. But Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams. He's gonna make his plays. You can't expect him to not get loose at some point. But I think on that play that a lot of people are talking about is, he wasn't that far off of him. So I mean, if I'm talking about the same play, I think Ramsey had a great recovery on that play. But he's been awesome, dude. That game sealing pick had me a little scared because he was down for a little bit after that. So that terrified me. And again, maybe if McDaniel had a better play call to get the first down instead of throwing it on 3rd and 1, wouldn't have been that situation. But hey, that's all I want to say. But Ramsey's been great, dude. I'm excited to see what he does against the Jets.
I thought Ramsey had an awesome game, and I thought he kept Adams in check when he was guarding him, honestly. Yeah, that play, okay, you could argue that he got beat on that, but I wouldn't say burned, man. I think Ramsey was right there. But I thought Ramsey had a hell of a game. He did lock up, Adams a couple times when I did see in the replays and in the highlights for the All-22. I thought Ramsey held his own, man, and Ramsey ended up with 2 interceptions. He continues to make an impact ever since his return, which is just freaking awesome to see. And that game sealing interception, I mean, talk about the icing on the cake. And the other one that he got, the first one, I mean, these are 2 diving interceptions. I mean, it's just tremendous to have a player like this. I mean, I was excited once we signed him, and then you're telling me he's doing this off a torn meniscus a couple months ago. Like, it's just insane, bro. Like, it's insane what Jalen Ramsey has brought. He's brought life into this defense, and I think it's just reflecting on everybody. You cannot tell me otherwise. That's been the only thing that's changed. Like, you added Ramsey, and it's literally given confidence in pass rushers and everybody. And Fangio's able to do his thing, and it is just awesome. I want to spend one quick question before we talk about the New York Jets. Jason Sanders missed yet another kick. What's your concern level at with that, real quick?
It's God, I'm sorry. It's through the roof, to be honest with you. I'm sorry, my voice completely disappeared there for a sec. Been sick the last week. But yeah, I mean, the worry's there, dude. I mean, how many times in the playoffs do you see games coming down to like these last second kicks from 50 yards? Like, I don't understand how he hasn't been replaced yet. I mean, I've been a Jason Sanders supporter since 2020, but I mean, like, he's 4 for 14 on 50-yard field goals, I think, dating back to last year. So I mean, it's very concerning. Like, you can see why Like, this is one thing I'll give McDaniel. You can see why he goes for it on fourth down a lot from 50 yards out. I would probably do the same. So I mean, it's very concerning, to be honest with you. I remember them saying they were going to bring a kicker in to challenge him a little bit, but like that disappeared. You never really saw anything about that. But
Nope.
I really hope they're in the market for a kicker next year, because you need to have a kicker. Like, look at Buckner, look at Tucker, like look at those. Then they're automatic. Carlson, Daniel Carlson, he's automatic from 50. Having an automatic from 50 kicker takes a lot of pressure off of you. So I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do next year, man. He's got to go. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I know, I agree, because I mean, we're lucky enough to get away with all of these things, to be honest with you. And there's gonna come a point in time where if it happens, hopefully not in a playoff game, but we're gonna have to, need 3 points. Those 3 points become more valuable later on in the season once you're playing those tough games, in particular in the postseason. And he's got to get his shit together, man. To be honest, I don't think he will, and I would wish we had somebody else, because man, it would be devastating if it comes down to him and it goes opposite. But let's not talk about that, man. At the end of the day, we're 7-3. We're headed into Jets week at MetLife Stadium, taking on the New York Jets, who have now officially benched Zach Wilson. They got Tim Boyle starting over there, which is, I mean, it's shocking to me. It's a little bit insane to me. I don't know how you feel about that, man, but what are your thoughts on that situation and the Jets this coming Friday?
I might get some backlash, but I mean, I feel so bad for Zach, man.
Same.
I can sympathize with a player like him. Like, you could totally tell he's just trying to give it all he can. And to be honest with you, I don't think, yeah, they'll be a little better, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers drastically changes this offense. Like, that offensive line is fucking horrible.
Oh yeah.
They are so bad. And like, we kind of saw it in the first few. I know it's just 4 snaps, but like, even with Rodgers back there, like, Buffalo was just torching them. So in those 4 snaps, but I'm just like, I don't know, man. There's a lot to be addressed with New York right now. That O line has to get addressed, but I feel really bad for Zach. Quite frankly, I think it makes the Dolphins' task a little more tougher because we haven't really seen anything else but Zach Wilson. But I mean, can it be much worse? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm kind of assuming. But we'll see what Tim Boyle brings for the Jets. I mean, he had 5 completions for 33 yards and an interception in the time he played with the Jets last week, but that was pretty much garbage time. But we'll see. But I hope Fangio just brings the heat on that O line, get to Boyle, and just make them shit their pants, man, and go out and just take over from the start, because I don't think the offense is going to have a huge game, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, I think shutting down any type of little momentum or whatever the hell the Jet fans are gonna try to come in with, whatever the hell it is, I think is important, like from the jump, to get it started. And you talk about Zach Wilson, you talk about feeling bad for him. I do as well, to be honest. I've actually have always said this. I like Zach Wilson a little bit, and I do feel bad for him, because I just feel like he tries hard. You know, he's had the world up against him. We can relate to that with Tua, throughout the beginning of his career. And you literally just see, so many people just bashing him and not enough people supporting him. And you know what? A lot of the people that don't support him are actually on his damn team, and including his head coach, to be honest with you. And I think that fucking sucks. So I really, I've watched Saleh close. I've listened to New York sports radio, living in the New York area. And I think Saleh fucking sucks. And Saleh is a fucking terrible coach. And I'm glad as hell to say this on my damn show. Uh, Saleh is fucking trash. He is terrible. There's not one game that I can sit here and say, wow, Saleh coached a hell of a game. That was a brilliant job. No, Robert Saleh is a defensive coordinator, and that is it, man. Like, some people just don't have the balls to be a good head coach, and he doesn't have the balls to be a good head coach. He is a DC, and he should have stayed as a DC, but you got to do what you got to do. You got to get your money. You got to chase your dream to be a head coach. But that ship right there, I think we're gonna end that shit, and we might lead him to getting fired after we whip their ass. Because honestly, he hasn't coached a game where I'm like, wow, he coached a hell of a game, like I mentioned. Zach Wilson, I haven't heard him back up his quarterback at all. I mean, this dude, even in interviews, he's constantly talking about his defense. Oh, I believe our defense is going to keep us in this game. Like, what about your quarterback, bro? Like, just support it. Even if you have to fake it, like, show that you have trust in Zach Wilson. I think he hasn't been a fan of Zach Wilson from the start. And I think that fucking sucks. We dealt with that with Brian Flores. And I also think just, his body language. Sometimes you don't even have to say shit, but your body language the whole entire game, ever since Aaron Rodgers got hurt, every time they show him, he's just like this. Like, I'm sorry, bro. Like, you're ass, and stop blaming Zach Wilson for you being ass. You have made zero adjustments as well. I think if you're gonna blame Zach Wilson, blame Saleh, the head coach, as well. And I've had Jeff fans. I've talked to numerous Jeff fans, and they just defend it. Oh, I don't put it on them. I think it's the offense. Listen to me. Listen to me. Newsflash, right? Check this out. Saleh is trash, and I'm gonna tell you why. If Saleh's not trash, tell me why. If you fire him tomorrow, who the fuck is gonna sign him? Who the fuck wants him as a head coach? Nobody. Zero as a head coach. You're a DC and a DC, and that's it. Jacoby, I had to just throw that out there.
Man, I'm kind of opposite with you. I mean, like, I don't think I think this was the year he needed to really step up. But I mean, like, I've kind of been a Saleh guy the last couple of years. And I love his story. I love his mindset. I love what he brings to the table. But I mean, to judge him the last 2 years, I can't because of the cast he had around him. But this year, I feel like, you got a top 5 defense. You got really exceptional weapons on the offensive end, and Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers going down. I feel like, if Zach Wilson's not giving you the results, can Trevor Siemian really be that bad? I mean, like,
which is crazy. It's like,
I mean, we're 12 weeks into the season, and he didn't make a single change at quarterback until now. I feel like you should have done that a while ago. I mean, at least. I mean, Trevor Siemian, I don't think he could be much worse. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say here. So, I mean, I totally get what you're coming from. I won't say he's ass. I mean, like I said, I'm a Saleh guy. But I mean, we'll see. To think that we might get him fired, that would be kind of crazy. I mean, if they fire him, if we beat them this week, that will blow my mind, if I'm honest with you. So, I mean, that would just be, I feel like that would just be fucking all hell's breaking loose in New York, dude. That would be insane. Yeah, I mean, I totally get what you're coming from, dude. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't feel bad for them. They're our division Jets rival.
Exactly.
I would bring them all the heat, especially all their fans. Like, they thought they talked all that shit going into the season, dude. They thought they were gonna win a Super Bowl, which blew my mind because, like,
oh,
I mean, like, even last year when we got Tyreek Hill, like, I didn't even have the fucking, like, audacity to say, oh, we're Super Bowl bound. I'm like, okay, like, we're definitely going to be a top team, but, like, I don't say Super Bowl unless we get that kind of, like, respect. And I'm not saying it now either because, we haven't beaten a Super Bowl caliber team yet. So you don't see me saying that, but that's crazy.
No, but I respect what you're saying. But I think, like I said, I think Saleh's tremendous at his defense, bro. Like, that's why he got the gig in the first place. And he has shown to be like a defensive guy, like a defensive guru. Like, he's awesome when it comes to that side of the football, no doubt about it. But for me, that's my opinion, and I do respect yours. And I hope that they keep Saleh, to be honest with you. I hope that they do, because to be honest, I think he's trash, bro. I really do. But like you mentioned, man, it's the Jets at the end of the day. And yeah, like you said, these people were talking Super Bowl. And then me and you were talking about it.
The media was too, dude.
Yeah, the media, the fans, and we were talking about it on this show. Like, yo, you guys haven't even made it to the playoffs since when? Like, there's levels to this shit, man. Like, you gotta.
Aaron Rodgers hadn't taken a snap yet either,
right? And then look at that. Like, look how that went down. And then me and you talk about this whole thing about Rodgers coming back. Like, this shit is just ridiculous. Like, you want Aaron Rodgers to come back with that offensive line? Like, hey. Good luck. Jets are gonna jet, man. But it's just funny, man, how all the Jet fans just continue to get hyped up. Like, the Jets fan season is literally the off season, Because once the shit starts, man, they just start becoming crickets
Yep,
and crickets and crickets
absolutely.
and crickets. But I fucking love it, man. Jet fans gonna jet. You know, you guys suck. JETS suck, 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 and keep enjoying that. And best believe I'll be saying that on Friday when I'm there. But let's talk about keys to victory, my man. We saw what the Jets did to us at MetLife last year. We cannot sleep on that. Brees Hall did his thing. Zach Wilson actually got the win, but we had Skylar Thompson out there. But the Jets defense, we've talked about it, and Brees Hall, those are two people that we can say, well, two sides that we can say are definitely dominant. What are your keys to victory for this win on Friday, if you're predicting a win?
Yeah, dude. I think there's a lot of. I just think there's a lot of things that can really get to them this game. I mean, they have a top three, not top three. I'll say top five defense over there, man. And whatever happened against Buffalo, that's to me, it's just because the defense was on the field the whole time. I mean, you gotta. But my first key, dude, is just embrace the opportunity. I know that sounds a little weird, but the lights are bright. It's the first ever Black Friday game. That crowd's going to be pumped. Embrace the opportunity. Like, don't fold under the lights. Bring your game and just execute like that. Like that to me is a little underrated key because like every primetime situation we get into, like when the lights are bright or like in Germany, international game, we just fold and we're going to be on the road. So, I mean, embrace the opportunity. My second one is just like fucking pressure the quarterback, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That offensive line is not going to hold it all game. And I'm going to say this, if that offensive line gives our front seven problems, we deserve to lose this game. So, I want at least 5 sacks in this game. So just fold them that way. And careless mistakes. You can't be careless in this game. You cannot give them any momentum. Tua's got to value that football. You can't turn the ball over. I feel like if you turn the ball over two or more times, we're gonna be in rough shape. We might not even win the game. So, you got to value that football, dude. So the little bit different in my keys to get victory, but I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I mean, like, this is a game in front of the whole world. Black Friday, momentum's going. People are gonna be rowdy. Like, and Miami doesn't bode well in that kind of environment. So whether they're a shitty team or not, you got to show up.
Yeah, man, for sure. I think I was looking at a stat. A lot of people are saying, Sauce and DJ Reed, like, one of the top cornerback duos in the NFL before the season. And believe it or not, bro, they have 0 interceptions. And I thought that was a crazy stat. I had to double check that. And yeah, like Sauce has 0 picks. And also Sauce is getting called for a lot of those holding penalties that he was getting away with last year. I saw him get called for one on Sunday against the Bills. And it's a little piece of some humble pie there because everybody was crowning Sauce a little bit way, way too early.
Yep.
But my keys to victory, man, I believe I'm with you with everything you said. I mean, that's for sure. That's obvious. This is pretty much under the lights, man. Like it's a big game. The world's gonna be watching. It's the only game on Friday. It's a Black Friday game. It's midday. People who were up late on Thanksgiving, like they still get to watch this. It's a 3:00 Eastern start. And this is a game where people are going to be watching. And it's important, man, because you don't want to lose to a division rival. And you're on the road. So pressure is on. You're going against a top defense. And hey, if you lose to Boyle, the world's going to come down on you, man. So definitely a big game here. I believe the key to victory, my keys will be setting the tone early. I think like I talked about earlier, you can't have this crowd and the momentum go in their favor at all. I mean, it's hard to gain that back if that defense starts to get in a groove. So protecting the football, not turning the ball over, and just setting the tone early on offense. That's my number one key to victory. My second one, you mentioned pressure. I agree with you. Pressure on the quarterback because that offensive line is so bad. And I'm not even going to tell you, hey, I need sacks. I know I always talk about sacks, but I don't even need it, man. To be honest with you, as long as you're getting like good pressure, and you're close enough to make these throws, maybe lead into an interception, just shake this quarterback up a bit. It's Boyle, by the way. Like, come on now. So pressure, and then I think with those two things on its own, I think the rest is just going to fall into place. But I would say a key to victory, not really a key, but something I'd like to see. Man, you talked about this before the stream, but Jalen Waddle, man, like get Jalen Waddle going. Not only when Tyreek Hill is out of the game or not in the play, like get Waddle going while Tyreek is out there, man. I want to see more from Jalen Waddle. And I actually want to throw this over to you now that I mentioned Waddle. How do you feel about Waddle and his touches and his season thus far?
It's been frustrating, dude. I mean, not only has he been getting banged up, he's just not getting schemed into the game plan, I think. Like people are saying, like, oh, Mike McDaniel's trying way too hard to get Tyreek Hill that 2,000 yard milestone. I mean, I hope that's not what it is, but I mean, Waddle was way more involved last year, dude. Like
Yeah, man.
like Tua was going to both of them, and a lot of people like to get pissed off to say Tua is not a one read quarterback, but I mean, you can't argue, dude. Like he gets the ball, he looks right at Tyreek, and he goes to him no matter what. He threw into triple coverage to this week,
You did.
and I think that was the Tyreek. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I don't know what it is, but they got and Waddle is starting to show that it's bothering him, dude. You could see his body language.
Yeah.
You can just see everything that he wants to get involved, and I hope they do this week because, I mean, I want to keep that duo together for as long as we can, dude. So.
Mhm.
I mean, don't piss him off, dude. Especially it's Tua's teammate. Like, don't piss him off, man. Get him involved. Like, he's just as dangerous as Tyreek.
Yeah. And hey, listen, I seen Waddle score a touchdown at MetLife Stadium before, so hopefully that happens again because I see the frustration in his body language, man. The body language tells it all, man. And it sucks because you're used to having, last year we're talking about, yo, this wide receiving duo is crazy. This is like the best shit ever. And it's really not the case. I feel like if anybody says that now, you're kind of just trying to force yourself to believe that. But in reality, Waddle's not really having that season that we all expected to. But I think it comes from the targets and I think it comes from the play call, a little bit of a scheme, something, bro. Like Mike McDaniel's got to figure out a way, get this guy going. All right. We're already in week 12. Like it's time. It's time to get Waddle more involved and have that duo because we cannot be one dimensional heading in to the playoffs, bro. Like that shit will look bad. We need Waddle, to pick it up. So hopefully this is the week that we see that. Let's talk about score and predictions though, man. How are you feeling about this score for Friday's game?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think the offense is going to have a huge game. I think they're going to struggle a little bit. I'll be very shocked if they get off to a hot start. If this is the get right game for the offense that people think is going to happen, I don't see it. But I still think the defense balls out. I still think we make life hell for the Jets on the defensive end, and I see the Finns winning this one 20-10. It's going to be a 10-point victory.
I like that. I like that, man. I got this game being a Dolphins win. I got it 24-13 Dolphins win. So almost close to you. 11-point victory. I think one touchdown probably comes at the result of the defense. But I think this offense is you're probably going to see kind of something along the line similar to that Raiders game, in my opinion. I think the defense is just too good on the other side of the football, but I think the Dolphins win. I don't think the Jets offense will do much here. So that's why I'm even being generous and giving them 13 points. I should probably have that at 10, but I'm going to leave it like that. 24-13. I think the Dolphins win. Are you concerned about Breece Hall though? I mentioned that he did have a big game against us last year. You concerned, or you think we pretty much, we hone in on him?
I think we honed in on him. We did a great job against Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, we
I
did.
think our run defense will be ready for him. I think that's who they're going to look to go to
Yeah.
in the game. So I mean, I'm not too worried about it. I think our defense is clicking at the right moment, and when it comes to our run defense, I think we got a really good one. So I'm not too worried about it.
Awesome, man. I'm excited for this one, man. I'm excited to be in attendance for this one, and
Yeah,
hopefully
you
I get
lucky, dude.
some good stories for the next stream, man. I'll be sending you some stuff, bro, for sure. So you do it to me all the time, so I'm gonna
Yeah.
now I get to do it for you, bro. I'm excited for this one. We see Giannis has 24-16, Dolphins win. Zell has 31-14, Dolphins. Damn, 31
Oof,
points. That would be sweet.
31-14.
Against
That's
that defense, that's tough, man. Shoot, I hope you're right. I would love to see 31
the
points, man.
Jets. The Jets defense is number one against wide receivers, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, really? So that
Yeah.
they pretty much okay. Damn.
Yeah, tough.
That's tough. That's tough for what we're asking for from Jalen Waddle. But hopefully
Yeah.
things get done, man. We both got a Dolphins win. I'm excited as hell for it. Now it's time for Week 12 fantasy football advice with my guy Jacoby, breaking down his stardom situms for the week. Jacoby, how's it going for you when it comes to fantasy?
Yeah, finally broke my losing streak in our league that we're in, back to 7-4. Got to win this week because it's 7 of my players have a bye next week, and I can't drop them all. So probably gonna have to take the L next week. So I got to win this week. But other than that, doing pretty good. God, playoffs is in 2 weeks. That just blows my mind for fantasy. This season has gone by in a flash, dude. It's insane.
It's
But
crazy, bro.
yeah, but the battle goes on. Going over my stardom sit-ins, starting with my quarterbacks. My start of the week had himself a great game against the Bengals last week, and I think he gets another great one against the Chargers, who are ranked 31st against quarterbacks. That is Lamar Jackson. He's been really up and down this season, even when they're blowing out teams. And right now, he's the 4th-ranked quarterback in PPR leagues. So give him the start this week against that Chargers defense. I think this game can potentially be the dagger for the Chargers. They are just looking terrible. So get that in there. And this next start, I think it's going to be for a lot of you who have quarterback buys. You can probably get them off the waiver wire, but I love the matchup against the Buccaneers, who are right behind the Chargers on ranked 39th against quarterbacks. This guy's been a baller for the Colts. I like Gardner Minshew. I love the start this week. I love the matchup. So those are my two stardoms this week. If you got them, get them in there.
Gardner Minshew getting a little love on Jacoby
Yes, sir.
stardom situms. Love the LJ pick, by the way, bro. I think you mentioned it. He could put the dagger in the Chargers, bro, and I think he definitely will, man. What quarterbacks don't you like this week?
Yeah, potential. Like this is, if you're playing if you have a quarterback going against the Cowboys, just get him out. Just get him out. They keep getting these pick sixes. They're just demolishing offenses left and right, unless you're the 49ers. But get Sam Howell out of there. I know he's having a great year. He's the 5th ranked quarterback right now. But the Dallas Cowboys defense is something I don't want any part of. So he's my first sit-in. And going on to my second sit-in, it's going to be Tua. I don't like Tua this week. I hate the matchup. The Jets right behind their passing defense against their quarterback defense, ranked 9th, averaging 14 points to a quarterback. And with what I've seen from Tua last week against the Raiders, I don't know if I like it this week at all. So I'm going to stay away from it.
Yeah, I don't blame that, man. I would do the same thing, to be honest with you. Like, just if you're a Dolphin fan and you have Tua, listen, bro, just sit him down.
Swallow
If
your
he does,
pride.
sit him down. If he does go off, just it's great, but it's not like it should be an easy layup fantasy start, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Cowboys defense, by the way. That's my best player this whole season for my fantasy team.
The only thing keeping you afloat right now.
Literally, bro. If you look at it, it is ridiculous what they've been doing for me, bro. What about the running back position, man?
Yeah, my first running back stardom is going to be DeAndre Swift. He's been pretty much just been the freaking guy for the Eagles this year. RB7 right now, and they're going against the Bills, so we're rooting for a big performance there. They're ranked 23rd, so I love the matchup, and they're just a run dominant team. So you start him for sure. And then my second one, this one's a little too obvious, but we're going to put the king against the 31st ranked defense against running backs. Derrick Henry against the Panthers. The Panthers are averaging a close to 30 points a game to running backs. So I think Derrick Henry has a huge game.
Yeah, he definitely is due. He had 2 games where he's been bad, so he's due for a big one.
Yep. I think that's the one for sure. And then on to my sit-ems. My first one, Jonathan Taylor, Tampa Bay, 3rd ranked defense against the run. They've been really good against the run. He remains running back 35 despite missing those first 4 weeks. He's still been pretty good, but against the Saints, who are the ranked number 4th, he didn't have the brightest game. So I think Tampa Bay will give him some issues for sure. And then my second one, Brian Robinson. He's been having a hell of a year, running back 4, but he's also going against Cowboys. Nope, yep. I don't want it. I don't want any of that matchup. So just get Brian Robinson out. Give him a break.
I'm with you on that. Wide receivers.
So my first one, I think this one's obvious, but I think this is recipe for a huge fantasy week. CeeDee Lamb, he's my number one stardom
Love it.
for the wide receivers, dude. I love the matchup against Washington, who are ranked 30th. They're averaging 40 points a game to wide receivers, dude. So get CeeDee Lamb in there. Obviously, but I think he's gonna lead all receivers this week. I think that's gonna be a great matchup for him. And then my second one, little underrated pick for the Colts, because I think Minshew will have a good game. So I'm going to give it to Pittman, Michael Pittman. He's going up against the Buccaneers, who also are averaging around 40 points a game to wide receivers. So I love these two matchups. I think they can, especially there's a real possibility that some of you have these two players on the same team. So you might have a huge week with these two.
No, I was not expecting that, but I like it. I like it, man. Who are you staying away from?
I'm staying away. This one's in the same game. I'm staying away from Jalen Waddle and Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's going up against a really rejuvenated Dolphins defense. I think Jalen Ramsey's going to keep him in check, and I don't see Boyle having a good game at all. And the same thing with Waddle, number one ranked defense in fantasy for the New York Jets against the pass, against wide receivers. So I don't like it. I would sit those two both. And Garrett Wilson's also banged up right now too. So
yeah, I don't blame you. I think those are solid sit-ems, bro. To be honest. What about the tents?
And then my tight ends was kind of lame this week. I still picked up some, but they're pretty much the same guys I pick every week, except for a couple on here. But for my stardoms, I like Njoku. He's going up against Denver. They're on a little bit hot streak right now, but Denver's ranked dead last against tight ends, averaging a worse 16 points to tight end. So I like Njoku. I think that's an easy start, and you could probably get him on your waiver wire right now. And Pat Freiermuth going against Cincinnati. They got to find some sort of light right now. So it's kind of looking bad for them right now. But, Freiermuth has not been, starter worthy at all this year. He's tight end 48, but they're averaging about 14 points a game to tight ends. So, you know what? Give him the shot. I like it.
I don't mind it, bro. But yeah, he's definitely been, he was hyped up a little bit for this season, and he hasn't really lived up to the hype. But he's due. He is due.
And then for my last two, for my sit-ems, Hunter Henry going against the Giants. I'm just staying away from anything Patriots right now. He had a hot 2 weeks, and he's been non-existent since then. And I think that streak is going to continue. Same thing with Hayden Hurst. I think he's been a little bit of an underrated pickup in some of your leagues, but he's kind of lost his touch too. If you get more than 6 points out of a tight end, I think they're pretty decent for you, but I don't think he's gonna have a good game at all this week. So against the Cowboys, don't like the matchup. So those are my stardom sit-ems. Hopefully I help some of you out, and good luck. Like, playoffs are coming down the line, so you gotta start winning as much games as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Pressure is on, bro. And I know this is a big week for you, since you mentioned with all those bye weeks coming up.
Yeah.
So now we need 3 games to talk about, since we got 3 Thursday night matchups. So we got the first Thanksgiving Day game is the Green Bay Packers taking on the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions are at home. They're 8-2, 4-1 at home, going against the Packers, who are 4-6. The line is 7.5 in favor of the Lions. What is your prediction for that game? Who wins and by how much?
I think the Lions win that game. I think they're going to win by a pretty big gap. I'm going to give it I'm going to say 27-10. Green Bay just lost Aaron Jones, and I think Detroit will get to Jordan Love pretty good. So give me the Lions in a blowout.
Yeah, I take the Lions as well, bro. Things are just looking way too good over there. Even though they barely, snuck out of a little victory against the Bears, I think there was a little bit of look ahead right there, just looking at that Green Bay matchup. Thanksgiving, being excited for that, for the big lights. But I like the Lions offense, bro. I think they win. I think they win big by over 7.5 points. So I would lay that as well. So I'm with you. Next game, the Commanders against the Cowboys, division game here as well. Well, we got 3 division games, which is awesome. That should be competitive football. Should be. So Cowboys against Commanders. Cowboys are at home. They're also called frauds, just like us, apparently. So the Cowboys apparently don't beat good teams either. Dallas is favored by 11 points, man. Who wins this game and by how much?
You know what? I'm just gonna say I don't like these Thanksgiving games, if I'm honest with you, like, at
Me
all.
neither. Could be better.
I think this matchup sucks, but I mean, I got Cowboys easily in this game. I don't even think it's going to be close. It's going to be one of the boring games of the week, but I'm going to say Cowboys by give me a 20-point victory. I'll say 38-17.
Oh wow. I
I
think
think that I think because I think CD Lamb's going to have himself a game, dude. So
Yeah, I agree with you, bro. I think this game is just weird, bro. I mean, the Commanders are weird because I think Ron Rivera sucks. I think the Commanders suck as a whole, but then you see Sam Howell's like first in passing yards. Shout out to Eric Bieniemy, but then he also has thrown 12 interceptions. It's such a weird, funky team. I think Ron Rivera's got to get out. Hopefully, they give Bieniemy the head coaching gig. That would be awesome. I
yeah,
love
they
Bieniemy.
probably will. They probably will,
That
to be honest.
that would be awesome, man. I love that guy, man. He deserves a shot. That's one thing I could say. He definitely deserves a shot. But I got Dallas win this game. It's a division game, so I don't think Dallas will win by 2 scores. So I would take plus 11 if you're betting. Um, if I had to pick one, I'd rather stay away. But if you had to choose one, I would say the Commanders probably cover the 11. Maybe Dallas wins by 10. But I'm with Jacoby. I think CD Lamb has a huge game here. So I'll take the Cowboys with the win. The night game is the 49ers and the Seahawks in Seattle. Seattle lost a freaking heartbreaker at the hands of the Rams this weekend. That sucked, man. Sucked to see Geno Smith go down, then try to battle back. Hate to see a missed field goal to be the deciding factor. How do you feel about this one? It says that the 49ers are favored by 8.5 on the road.
Yeah, man. Seattle needed to win that game, dude. They got the 49ers, Cowboys, Eagles in their next 4 games. That's tough, dude. So, but I'm going to take the upset. I think Seattle wins this game. It's going to be close. I'm going to go 30-27. I think it will be a high scoring game. I think this is one of those games where people think, oh, Seattle just lost. It's going to be a blowout. It's not even going to be close. I think this one will be a little bit of a close one. I like Seattle this year. So, I mean, I'm going to give it to them. I think they're going to win this game. I think the real Brock Purdy shows up for sure.
Okay, I thought I was the only one crazy enough to pick it, but I'm picking Seattle as well, man. I think that it sucks. It was a must-win game for them last week because of the schedule ahead, and I think they feel that pressure. They're at home. They're pissed off. You're going against a Niners team. Listen, they're in your division. Yes, they're better than you, but you've played these guys. You understand how to beat these guys, and you're at home. This is the game to get them. It's a short week. You got the prime time spot under the lights, and you lost the game that you should have won. So I think you're a little bit, hungrier. This game means a lot. So I will pick the Seahawks to win this game. And also getting 6.5 points. I think that's sweet. Like worst case scenario, I think Seahawks, if anything, lose by 3. Those are my takes. And then we both have the Dolphins beating the Jets on Friday. So yeah, man, big week, bro. Big week for us. I'm excited, man. We got some at least we get to get our games out of the way. And
time to go watch Hard Knocks.
Yeah, and now it is Hard Knocks time, bro. So Hard Knocks in 12 minutes. Once again, shout out to everybody that tuned in to the chat, tuned in live to the show. If you're listening on audio, we appreciate you guys as well. If you only listen to audio, man, try to make it to some of the streams, man, live. Live. We do this every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Pacific. So whether you're West Coast, East Coast, whatever it is, man, get your butts down here. Chime in on the chat board. Talk to us, man. It's always great having people engaged live. So tell a friend, man. Hit that thumbs up button. And me and Jacoby will catch y'all next week. Jacoby, any last words before we get on out of here?
Nah, man. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving. Everyone stay safe this weekend. And hopefully we're talking here a week from now, 8-3, ready for the big stretch, because we know what happened last year when we went 8-3. So,
oh my goodness,
let's
I forgot
get ready.
about that.
Yep, I'm scared of it. Man. So let's have a good week.
Listen, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Just like Jacoby said, stay safe out there. Enjoy the turkey if you're eating turkey, or just enjoy time with the family or loved ones, friends, whoever you guys are with. Blessings to all. Go Dolphins. We'll see y'all next week. Enjoy Hard Knocks. All right. Enjoy Hard Knocks. 9 o'clock tonight. Enjoy the hell out of it. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm sure my Dolphin players aren't enjoying it, but me and Jacoby gonna enjoy
Yeah,
it.
oh no, they ain't.
Well, see you guys next week. Go Dolphins. Let's pick up this big W MetLife takeover. And if anyone is going to MetLife takeover and you're listening to this, hit me up on Twitter. I will be there, guys. So catch y'all next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Dolphins. Peace out.